I've been a little bit under the weather lately, suffering from a terrible cold. Don't worry though, it wasn't the coronavirus. The only Chinese export I have is today's watch. Hi and welcome to Last Watch. I was hoping to have done this video a couple of weeks ago, but it's fair to say that the whole of February pretty much passed me by. I had some studying to do for a PFCO license, and straight off the back of that, I got the most horrendous cold, and there's no way I could have got through a whole watch review. There's a few things I'd like to share with you today. First of all, as promised, I will be giving away a watch. To be more specific, I'll be giving away the Nordgreen Pioneer from my last review. The watch is close to mint condition as it was only worn for review, and it will come to the lucky winner pretty much as I received it. If you haven't already seen the review, then you can use the link up here to check it out. If you'd like to get your hands on this watch, then be sure to watch today's video in full. Also, for the first time ever, I'd like to give you a wrist check, something I've never done. I'm wearing the Omega Railmaster, which I picked up in the January sales, and I'll put the unboxing video up here too. I'm normally quite technically savvy and hands-on, but it turns out the Omega has quite an intricate screw and pin system for resizing the bracelet, which I thought would be best left to a professional, as I didn't want to risk mashing up the screws. I had a trip into Edinburgh to get it resized and ended up in Hamilton in Inches, where they resized it completely free of charge. I also spent a bit of time chatting to the staff about Rolex wait lists, and they showed me a watch that they had commissioned especially for the store. The Edinburgh 87 39mm, quite an attractive, classic looking dress watch. Bad show on my part, but I neglected to get any pics of it in the shop. I will however put some pics up from their website for you to have a gander. I might even try and get it on the channel for a future review. Needless to say, a big shout goes out to all the staff at Hamilton and Inches for their help, and also to their concierge at the door, who as it turns out is a big fan of my channel and actually recognised my voice. Thanks for watching, big man. Since my last video, Timex have released their take on the Batman. Mr. T, my inside man, was pretty close with his timings, as he had suggested a release date before the spring. Now I went along to the Timex website and had the Batman in my basket and was ready to buy, but I couldn't bring myself to pull the trigger and spend the cash. The M79 just didn't sing to me the same way that the Q Timex did. I'm sure I'll probably get one in for review at some point, but for now I'm happy to bide my time. If any of you have picked up the M79, let me know your thoughts and if you think it's worth the money. Something of note is that Timex need to work on their communications. I registered with Timex for notifications. The M79 was already sold out before I got an email to tell me about its release. If any of you out there are interested in a particular Timex watch, then I would recommend you sign up to their Instagram page for all the latest information, or risk losing out. Right, let's get back to today's review, or should I say half review, as today's watch is not entirely new to the channel. Back in June of last year, I was contacted by Star King, who graciously sent me a watch to look at. That watch was the Star King reference AM0184, an extremely affordable, reasonably spec'd watch, so much so that I quite aptly titled the review Cheap as Chips Chinese Charmer. You can check out that full review here. Now the watch was by no means flawless, but coming in at around £40 for an automatic, there was little to complain about. I did however point out that the in-house movement was a little rough and not that accurate, as it was running at some minus 32 seconds per day. The black dial was quite hard to read under various lighting conditions, the date window was so minuscule that it was pretty much pointless, and the logo was somewhat lost in translation. Well, time has moved on, so you can only imagine my surprise when Star King got back in touch to tell me that they had updated their watch and were offering me the opportunity to have one for review. I gladly accepted, but asked that they send me a white dial on their leather strap, as I didn't see any point in getting a virtually identical black dial and bracelet. I also thought it would be a good opportunity to compare the watches side by side. I figured if any of you out there are considering a Star King but can't decide between the black or white dial, or whether you should get it on a bracelet or leather strap, then this review might go somewhere to helping you decide. If it's not already obvious, I should point out that the Star King has been sent to me completely free of charge. It's mine to keep and I'm free to say whatever I want about it. I'm not being paid for this review. Specs wise, we have a case diameter of exactly 40mm, a lug to lug length of 47.8mm, a case thickness of 11.7mm, and a lug width of just under 20mm. The weight of the watch on the leather strap comes in at just under 63 grams. Apart from the difference in dial colours, it's fair to say that these two Star Kings are very much from the same stable. They share the same polished stainless steel pie-pan case, sapphire crystal and design elements. There are, however, some subtle and fundamental changes to the white dial variant over the black. Whether or not you consider them an upgrade might be down to personal taste. The white dial, like the black before it, sports a similar starburst effect, giving it a silky appearance. It's not what I would call a pure white. It has a warm tone to it, a new watch with a vintage iridescence. The dial sports the same applied silver faceted markers, dolphin hands and stick seconds as its predecessor. We have the lotus fruit icon and Star King logo just below the 12 o'clock position, the word automatic just above the 6 o'clock position, and a chapter ring denoting the minute markers. All of these are printed in black to contrast against the white dial, as opposed to the white on black from the previous watch. A significant change is that the date window has now been moved from the 3 o'clock position to midway between the 4 and 5 o'clock position. This is a hint that further changes have been made within this watch. The date is printed black on a white background. The crown is unchanged and is still adorned with the lotus fruit logo. I still feel it's a little on the small side, but it's easy enough to wind, grasp and pull out. There is a quick set date facility, but something of note is that the watch no longer hacks. Something is most definitely afoot. Turning the watch over, we reveal a display case back. We can get into that in a second. As you can see, I've left this circular sticker in place. This has the lotus fruit at its centre with Arabics from 1 to 12 around its perimeter. The 11 marker has been highlighted with a red mark, denoting that this watch was made in November. Apologies to Star King here, they sent me this watch in December, and this is the first opportunity I've had to review it. Note to self, could do better. Around the display case back, we finally get to see some details of the watch which are noticeably absent from the dial. Its 50-meter water resistance, sapphire glass, automatic, all stainless steel and its reference number. Strangely, the Star King website states a water resistance of only 30 meters. This is something that Star King need to clarify. In any case, I would play safe and not get this baby wet. Now we get to the nitty gritty. The movement is an all gold affair. I'm not suggesting for a second that this is real gold, but it's certainly gold in colour. Those subtle clues on the dial of the watch, such as the window date relocation and non-hacking seconds, were all pointing to the fact that Star King have decided to replace their Jingru 1813S in-house movement with a Miyota 8215. Now I'm being very choosy with my words here, as I say replace and not upgrade. The Miyota 8215 is a 3 Hz movement compared to the 4 Hz of the Star King Jingru caliber. The Miyota beats at 21,600 beats an hour, has 21 joules and a power reserve of more than 42 hours. It has a stated accuracy of between -20 and +40 seconds a day. This particular watch is running at +16 seconds per day, a noticeable improvement compared to the -32 seconds from the Jingru 1813S, but it lacks hacking. I also suspect that the Miyota is fractionally bigger than the Star King movement, as the white dial variant is a 0.5 millimeter thicker in the case than its predecessor. Hardly a deal breaker, but certainly worth a mention. Its gilt finish is nothing remarkable to look at. It's nice to be reminded that you have an automatic watch, but this is very much the epitome of understatement. The watch comes on this mock alligator leather strap, a very deep cherry brown colour, if that's even a colour. It's quite stiff with a hard edge that leaves its mark on your wrist. I think you would need to spend a bit of time wearing this in, something I haven't had the opportunity to do. It's finished with a polished buckle, which is etched with the Star King name. It was my intention to show you both watches on the leather strap and the bracelet. However, this hasn't been possible, as it would appear that the spring bar holes have been relocated on the updated Miyota version. Now, I mentioned earlier a few of the AM0184's failings. Star King obviously listened to its customers and reviewers, hence the Miyota replacement in the AM0171. But it still has a rather pointless date window. I think the watch would be better off without it. Feel free to disagree. The Star King isn't going to win any awards for originality, design or build quality, but the warm white dial has taken me by surprise. I think it's much more appealing and attractive than the traditional black. It's also easier to read as it doesn't have that mirror effect of the black dial, and the lack of AR coating is no longer an issue. The white dial is certainly my favourite between the two options here. The lack of hacking is a minus and could be a deal breaker for many. What was the point of putting a more accurate movement in that doesn't hack? This is quite possibly 2 steps forward and 1 step back. I got loads of messages from you guys after the initial Star King review. Turns out there are loads of Star King fans out there, and you all informed me that the in-house movement is pretty easy to regulate for better accuracy. All being said, the best option here might be to get the white dial on a bracelet with Star King's in-house movement. Regulate the watch and treat yourself to a nice leather strap. Now I'm very lucky because although my family have absolutely no interest in watches, they support my madness. Bizarrely, out of all the watches that have come into the house, Star King are the only ones to turn their heads. My daughter is a big fan of the black dial and my wife really likes the white. Go figure. It was my plan to give both of these watches away, but there's every chance they may be acquired by my loved ones. A small price to pay to keep them sweet. If that doesn't happen, then they could both be up for grabs in a future video. That leads me neatly to today's giveaway. In a blatant push to get to 10,000 subscribers, I'm giving away the Nordgreen Pioneer. All you have to do to be in with a shout of winning this watch is like and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below stating your interest. Feel free to add to that any way you see fit. You can also double up your chances by signing up to my Instagram page and leaving a comment there. I will aim to pick a winner by the end of March and send this watch out to its new owner sometime in April, regardless of where you might be on the globe. Good luck! Star King haven't provided me with any promo codes for either of today's watches. All I can suggest is that you go check out their AliExpress website if you'd like to pick one up. The AM0171 is currently selling for £45 or $58. The AM0184 is retailing for around £10 or $10 less. So be sure to keep an eye out for any coupons on their site and grab yourself a little discount. Many thanks to Star King for sending the AM0171. I appreciate you giving me another opportunity to look at one of your watches, and thanks to all of you guys for watching. I'll see you all soon in my next video.